Okay, we're going to go to the Philadelphia area now, Bucks County, the northeast suburban area in Pennsylvania of Philly. We're going to talk to a man named Barry Casper, who is Polish-American, mostly Polish-American, according to my understanding. And that's relevant today because President Trump has been doing what looks like a very successful and well-received trip to Poland, so I had to have someone Polish-American on here today. And Barry, thank you for joining me, and want to start off with getting your thoughts about President Trump's trip and Poland in general.
Well, thanks for having me on. From the start, it looks like his trip's going very well. He was well received. I think I saw somewhere where someone mentioned he's already done 50% more trips than his predecessor, meeting with foreign leaders. I thought that was an amazing revelation. I haven't checked it out. Don't know if it's true or not. But I think when you see the way that the Polish are protecting their borders, and certainly Trump, that's what we elected him to do for us, it's like a natural thing that should go well for both, Poland and for his trip.
You mentioned protecting its border. We have seen Poland in the news a lot, and obviously the 20th century was kind of rough for Poland between the two world wars and the Cold War as well, and now Poland really is the first, along with Hungary and the Czech Republic, country people think of when people want to sort of say it's over for Europe, and they're talking, I guess, most frequently about France, Germany, England, and Sweden, and the problem they're having with Muslim immigration, to be polite, invasion, to be a little more blunt. And they say, but then on the other side, the Polish people seem to want to actually keep Poland Polish. And you can say that about a few other Eastern European countries, and that must be connected to the really enthusiastic way Trump was received over there, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think there's even more to it than that. That was really well stated. I mean, they want to, they don't believe it. I don't believe in that multiculturalism can work. I mean, so every time you look at the news or when you go out and search, there's always it's a clash of the way we live, and Europe is under siege right now, and not to seem like an alarmist, but there is an invasion. It's a silent invasion, so there's no war going on. There's day after day, more and more immigrants that don't really want to assimilate to the country they're immigrating to. So that's the part that I find, really wasn't prepared to go all out into this, but I don't see how it works. I mean, you can't come to America and want to keep your own country here in America. You be like the Polish did it. We came here proud of our Polish heritage, and we assimilated into Americans. But we still hold on to our traditions. We still hold on to our histories, and that's what made our country great. Not Polish people coming to America and making it Poland, not the Irish making it Ireland, not the Germans making it Germany. And that's the flaw in the argument that I see.
Yeah, and the contrast is Polish staying in Poland, wanting to keep it Poland, as opposed to having enclaves of Morocco. I mean, to use an example, there are a lot of those in Sweden. Do you think it's just that the Polish are a little tougher because of their history in recent in the last century or so, and just maybe they're only one generation removed from communism, or many of them even remember it?
Well, of course they do. I mean, 3 years ago, let me think back. I'm sorry. When Romney was running for president, I got a new neighbor. He moved into our neighborhood. He's from Poland, and moved into our neighborhood. And I got to know him, and I asked him, well, how'd you find this place? And he said, well, I was driving around a lot of places, and I saw a lot of Romney signs here, so I thought I might fit in here. So I started laughing about that. That's how the conversation began. And then he went on to explain to me what it's like in Poland, and he lamented that his daughters, he came to America, but his daughters are now they're more left-leaning, and it's disappointing to him that his daughters want to embrace the things that he felt so strongly against that he left Poland to come here. And it was like this tug of war for him. But when you hear from people who have, come away from that, and he grew up. He's a little bit older than me, like 60 years old. But he was a child during World War II. I mean, those people had it brutal. It was brutal there. Okay, we forget that. You know, we weren't on the front lines. We were here maybe reading about it. I wasn't born, but you're right. It's not far from their memory, the effects of communism, and it's right next door to them, by the way, every day. So,
yeah, I mean, it's just the question I wonder about is there something inherent to Poles still? Obviously, there's a big Catholic tradition there. Still go to church there, or has it been abandoned like in Italy, where frankly very few people go to church? I think Ireland is a little more church going now, but Italy, they stopped going to church. They have fewer and fewer kids. Poland, I guess, under communism, the abortion was very prevalent. I mean, is it a conservative society still, or is it just a reaction for one generation to having been under communist oppression and just being very wary of that? I don't know. I don't even know if you've been to Poland in recent years, to be honest.
I have not, but we're planning the trip. But it was funny. I want to try to have a little bit of fun with this. In my own life as a Polish American, let me assure you, my father had 14 brothers and sisters, and we're in a Polish community. And believe me, my relatives have a very long and good memory of who did them wrong. Okay, and I think that's kind of in the community that way. Or maybe
is number one Germany or Russia in that case?
Well, that would be Polish. So.
No. Who did them wrong the most?
Well, their favorite one from memory when I was a child was the Ukrainians. They didn't really like the Ukrainians.
Oh, really?
That had to do with some of the flip-flopping, I think, of the military, the guards, and the Ukrainian guards at some of the concentration camps in Poland. I think it stemmed from that. Because, they had some pretty rugged stories to tell. Our family immigrated from Krakow area. It was a small town, and my grandfather came over before that, but his head family left there. So I think he came to the States in 1917.
Got it. I have to ask, what was the Polish American area of Philadelphia? Was it Kensington at some point? I mean, this is getting a little specific for a national audience, but I'm just curious, what really was the Polish area? Like Greenpoint in New York was. It still is.
Well, you know what? I'm going to be truthful with you. I was from born in upstate Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
And there was a coal mining community there, mostly Polish, worked in it, Irish as well, but that was a place called DuPont, Pennsylvania. I think there's lots of Polish influence still in the Philadelphia area. I mean, I like Polish people. They come, they're friendly. To me, now I'm just saying this. I'm not with the Polish Chamber of Commerce or anything. But you can go into their deli, their stores. They just treat you nicely. They treat you like family. You always feel like family. And there's still a big community here. There's Czestochowa out in Bucks County, the Shrine. I mean, there's a nice festival there. Certain parts of Philadelphia, Kensington, as you mentioned, in that area, Fishtown. There's lots of Polish pockets around.
And let me explain something, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, for people from other parts of the country or any non-Pennsylvanians. The more Eastern European and Polish part of the state tends to be in the Northeast, really where the coal mines were, and really in Western Pennsylvania. I mean, if people know the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers, or I guess Stillers as they're pronounced out there, they have like this famous song from the 70s, which is a polka, which is Polish music, like the Pittsburgh Steelers polka, and it's definitely a part of the whole Steelers and Pittsburgh thing, more so than Philadelphia, which is the general area where I'm from. But I'm just trying to explain that to people out there. How did you personally, I'm sure you've seen some of the videos from Trump over Poland. Were you sort of heartwarmed when you watched that today? And there was quite a contrast from Obama, I imagine, who pulled away the missile defense from Poland. What goes through your mind as a Polish American?
Funny you would say that. It is a stark contrast, and yeah, it made me feel good. It made me proud of him. Okay, he's there to show them that we have their back. And pulling those missiles out of there was a lot. That led to a lot of other things. I don't have my notes in front of me, but that was a huge slap down. That was a huge sort of insult. It was beyond insult. It was you. We left our Polish allies in danger by doing that, and it allowed, I think, for certain other players in Europe to do other things, whether they move to Crimea and then in Ukraine. We basically, in my opinion, we've had nobody watching out for safety. The Democrats are famous for that. Whenever they come out of office, we're always reeling from lack of intelligence. Look at how far North Korea. Suddenly they're so far along in their development of a long-range nuclear tip missile. Well, how did that happen? That didn't happen overnight. That happened from 8 to 10 years of nobody paying attention to it. We have an administration that, their spokespeople come on and say, well, we could curb all these problems with the Syrians by, they just need hugs and jobs and everything will be fine. So anyway, I'm getting off the topic. Sorry.
Yeah, and off topic, I am very curious about one thing. I'm a Phillies fan. I don't even know if you are, or if you were 40 years ago. Are you, by chance? Were you?
A Phillies fan?
Yeah.
You mean the Philadelphia Phillies? Yeah.
Yeah, the Philadelphia. You are.
Always,
so was it?
Always been a Phillies fan.
So I have to ask you because he was a favorite player of mine. Was it fun rooting for Greg Luzinski in the 70s? He's in the Polish American Hall of Fame.
Well, my uncles loved to root for Greg Luzinski, and they lived 100 miles away. And when Greg, we would be out. This is a good time of the year. We would listen on the radio on the summer nights, broiling heat. Right, we'd be out on our porch, and my uncles would be drinking there or whatever. It was some nasty beer they would get. I don't even know where it was from.
Pivo.
But when Greg Luzinski came to bat, it was like you were in church. Nobody better talk.
Oh, really?
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was a big deal. I mean, I know he was fully Polish American and from an area of Chicago, I believe, that was pretty Polish. Chicago's known for having a big Polish community and, the Hall of Fame. So I never really thought about it that way. I was too young. But, so he was a big deal to Polish American Phillies fans.
Well, I was about 9 or 10, I would say, when I remember that. But we all knew. There was myself and a couple cousins. It was like, don't talk. Luzinski, the Bulls at the plate.
The Bull. Yeah, I love that. All right. Any final thoughts about Trump's trip, Poland, Polish American stuff, or even just the Trump presidency before I let you go?
Well, thanks again. I like it so far. I think he just has to keep moving forward. If you don't watch the news and it's hard to watch the way they're reporting what he's doing. I think he's doing the best he can, and his trip to Poland. Just look at the reaction in the faces of the people there.
Great point.
I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime where a leader goes in. Now, of course, people on the left are saying that was all canned and contrived and staged. Those people, though, but although they said the same things about the Trump supporters here in America too.
Of course,
so
until election day, at least.
Yeah, keep praying for him. He's doing a good job. Things are getting better. People are spending more money. Most people, if they could shut the news off, their lives will get better. The fake news, that is. So they're my final thoughts. I'm glad you had me on. I didn't prepare enough.
No, this was great. And, just thanks for coming on. And it's a great day to be Polish American, I suppose.
It is a good day to be a Polish American, even when Trump's not in Poland. Every day is a good day to be a Polish American.
Excellent. Barry Casper,
All right.
Thanks for coming on today.